goblin doing ecstasy.
Okay, I see your face in it now, and
What
someone might be
that?
licking Thor. I don't know.
love that. That's pretty cool. You did well there. Yeah.
Yeah, and thanks to
I
you,
like
Jar
the
Jar.
whole
Maybe
colors.
maybe it's a super scroll.
No, it's DC, and thanks to Jar Jar and one of the stories that he listed, I ended up spending money before the show.
Okay.
Good for you. Yeah.
Wow. I'm still dealing with the. I was like, my God, this must be like acid. Feels like it's like what? Let's start the show. I want to interpret.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
You are, in fact, watching The Dorkening.
You're watching The Dorkening. Stay tuned.
For all the geek news everywhere. Dorkening.
And this is The Dorkening. Trust me, I'm smarter than these guys.
Because The Dorkening is the best and most educational entertainment and information source that the Trauma Team knows of. It's the best. The Dorkening.
Hey, happy Tuesday, everybody. You're watching Splash Pages. My name's Leo. I'm the monkey behind the keyboard here. We have an awesome show scheduled for you, as always. And don't forget, we're going to be at Terrificon coming soon. I believe, it's the 27th through,
28th through the 30th.
28th through the 30th. And you know what? You're going to be able to find our booth. I think we're probably going to be right at the entrance. So definitely come by and see us and say hi. And with that, we will go with Velvet. How's it going, bud?
Good evening, gentlemen. And you know what it is. It's Tuesday. Splash Pages. And I'm back, bitches.
Flash on VOD this week. Ooh. Kari.
Hey, everybody. I've been working on this one. So it's X, this and X, that and X, this and it's X-Men and X-Force and X-Factor. It's X-Core and X-Cell and Excalibur. Kari creep to the mic like a sorcerer. And that's all I got right now.
Woohoo.
So.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, Drew, you got to follow that.
I will not. There's no way that I will dignify that with any sort of response besides, damn, that girl deserves her own show. Hey, everybody. We're all here. We'll be at Terrificon. You should see us. We'll have candy. It'll be great. There might be some more surprises. Who knows? It's hot. Let's get. Who's next? Jeremy?
Oh, shit. That means I need to buy candy again.
Mm-hmm.
Cesar!
Hey, everybody. Tuesday. Splash Pages. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Short and sweet.
I don't have a rap.
That's the best intro you've done ever, buddy.
Like,
so proud.
I don't think that's in our blood at all.
So this has been a while since all of us are here. We kind of had that Brady Bunch thing going. We're just heads in a box. Like we should just enter like the Brady Bunch. Yeah, I could see about customizing our intro to be Brady Bunch style. You know, like you know how the Avengers did that day? They were the Brady Bunch on the show. That shit was hilarious. It just Loki popping up at the end.
One day there was the store who had this idea.
The nerdy bunch.
Yeah, exactly. Here you go.
Together at once.
We had Leo. He's the guy on the keyboard. And then he's joined by Joker laughing every day. And then there's Jeremy. He sells the toys. He advertised that you can go on the site and find something that fits your way. And then there's me. I wrote the song. I have no other contribution to this part. And then there's Kari. She's the lady. She reminds us that we're all horrible at heart. The nerdy bunch. The nerdy bunch. I'm making this up as I go along.
And she does X-Men hip-hop songs.
Yeah.
Hip-hop songs.
Yeah.
Dear God, why? Let's start the show. Before
there used to be a cool hip hop group. Rich probably knows of them. They were named X-Men, but they had to change their name because of copyright to the Executioners. They were on that one track with their moment in the spotlight with
in your brain, and poof, it's gone.
It's gone.
It was there, and then it's gone. And these things happen.
Were they on the track with Spock doing the Hobbit song?
No, but that would have been really cool. They're that rock hip hop band where the guy killed himself, which was very sad. And
it'd be anything.
What was that one?
Prodigy.
No, not Prodigy.
Wait.
No.
Hey, well, can you have the
anyways,
Leo? Can you have
the
Hobbit song, like either the song that plays us off when we go to, like we're running too long on the rant? We start to hear that. I'm like, well, the Hobbit. You know,
I know the Hobbit song a little bit.
Yeah,
I thought that was the coolest thing, knowing that Leonard Nimoy. Yeah, like he's a hippie.
So we haven't done this in a while, and we've been extremely busy. Like last week, we had the great Mitch Halleck promoting Terrificon, which, as Leo, we're all going to be at. A lot of stories there. Mitch, great, loud, rambunctious.
Me behind my back. I heard y'all.
No, oh yeah. Oh no, we always talk about how your laugh is both famous and infamous at the same time. He always brings up that there's some artists that love you and some that despise you for it.
Yes.
You know, and he's like, yep, badge of honor. But there's also a ton of news. And the best part is our book is very short, so we only need 30 minutes to talk about it. So there's a lot of news to cover because we haven't done news in a while. So that news just kind of built up bigger and bigger until we have a giant nerdy elephant.
Yes.
That is usually green.
That is
It's
true.
a huge.
Who wants to set off the
ball.
news explosion?
Well, might as well go with what the title card is, right? Because that one's easy to get
we can
past.
kick it off with that, but just wanted to make sure, like, was there? We're forgetting the banter, you know, like.
Oh, I love the banter.
Oh no, the banter we can get any day. Jeremy, what the fuck is that?
That is just beautiful. It's actually supposed to be neon and stuff. Is that neon? I'm colorblind, so it looks.
Okay,
rather normal
so this is what it's. You see the neon color? That's what it's supposed to look like.
Okay.
So wait, I see a face on the left. It
Okay.
looks like something's coming out of it, and then the rest of it, I have no idea what I'm looking at.
Okay.
So
this is
now
from
doesn't this
issue
cover?
1 of Night Terrors #1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't the cover look awesome? Like that neon color? Well, this is what DC printed.
That looks horrible.
Yes.
Like,
now this is just bland coloring.
Yeah, without
And
the
so they're recalling this so that they can put out the other one.
Okay.
And it is now selling for $30 or more over on the bays. It releases tomorrow, which is really strange, which means the people that are selling it are the retailers. So they're not even waiting for the middle guy to swoop in and take them all and sell them. It's retailers.
Wait. I'm sorry, Jeremy. So the ugly version is $30?
Yes. No. The ugly version is would be $5.90. Which one's the ugly version?
Okay, so
the bad coloring. Well, the neon coloring is the new. So which one is the neon coloring or that coloring that Leo just showed us?
The one that Leo just showed us.
Okay, that's what I thought you were saying. I just wanted to make sure we're going to be clear.
The one that's not special at all.
Yeah, the neon one didn't get printed, from my understanding. This is why
they're not going to reprint it.
Well, they're probably going to reprint it, and there's actually other variant covers. So I think there's like 5 different covers, but like this is the main cover that was supposed to be neon, or the main like variant. And they printed it without the neon, and it got pulled from shelves, and retailers are selling it on eBay right now. I just ordered one for $26.99 with free shipping.
Why? It's ugly.
You a glutton for punishment?
I am.
Is your collection
He
really?
didn't order 41 of them, so
That's true. He didn't order 42 copies.
Now this
I
could
pray for
either.
you that the price doesn't plummet in a week.
Well, that's what I was about to say. This can either be a great idea for Leo and it shoots up and like becomes, one of those collector items that everybody seeks out, or, which is more likely, Leo, or the or part, is that it drops like a rock and becomes, just a probably cover price book.
Another
$1. It is $1 extra than the normal cover. It is a variant cover, and it costs a little bit extra anyways. And I have to say, I like the way it looks myself because I think it's kind of creepy looking and stuff. It actually made me want to check out the series. I wasn't really thinking of looking into this series at all.
Yeah, I'm still really on the fence.
I think if
I've read them all so far.
Leo, if you can pull it up, there's a Batman Night Terrors variant that I think looks really cool. It's metallic, with it has Joker laughs all over it. It looks really dope. It's like green metallic.
And Kari, you said you read all of them. How many are out already?
Let me check.
You've already read them? Wow.
Well,
yeah.
No, but
they're releasing them in little bursts.
Yeah, and Rich, that she's read the first one, like the main event book, but she's also some of the one shots.
Okay, is the whole series out already?
No.
So it's going to be 4 issues is the main storyline, and then each character is getting 2 tie-ins. So it's not going to be this huge crossover that like Fear State was. It's still going to be like probably like 40 something issues, right? Because there's
it's a lot. I know on this week's poll list it was at least like 7 of the DC books.
There's 11 right now. They've released. There was the Free Comic Book Day one, and then there's in alphabetical order, I guess. Batman, Black Adam, First Blood, Green Lantern, Nightwing, Poison Ivy, Ravager, Robin, Shazam, Superman, The Flash, The Joker, and Zatanna.
I mean, if you can't find the cover, I mean, it's okay.
So this is the first issue. So First Blood. So Night Terror's First Blood. This is the first issue.
So it's a vampire thing?
No, it's Dead Man, and there's a new character, Insomnia.
Yeah, like Dr. Destiny plays a role in this.
Okay, so we're talking like Boston Brand Dead Man?
Yeah.
It's Boston, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The basic premise is that something has happened with Dr. Destiny. We don't know exactly what yet. You get little bits from each story, but everybody has been knocked out, or at least up until, I'm not going to give spoilers, but this is just the basic premise. And they're all trapped in their nightmares. And some of them can cross over into other people's nightmares, and some people's nightmares is like fun for them, but you see other people trapped in them, and it's just like they're trying to find the nightmare stone.
Ooh.
And this being is, and so he's like trying to get enough people.
Jeremy, is that the cover?
To travel through to get this.
Yes.
That
is
really
the one.
pretty.
So
that is
Kari,
beautiful.
Based on those characters, no Sandman mention yet?
The JSA one, yes.
And they come in different colors, I believe.
Well, it looks like it's a foil, so it's gonna depending on what angle you look at it.
Oh, maybe that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no mention of Game and Sandman at all in it.
Okay.
No, it's Wesley died to make a comeback, so that's nice.
It's I read the Batman one, and it's a freaky story so far. What do you think about it so far, Kari?
Oh, it definitely. Yeah, it's interesting to see because they're trying to make people see what their greatest fear is, and just keep trying to wrap them into it. And some of them are able to grasp, like, I'm in a nightmare. This isn't real. And some of them just can't get past it, and they're getting chased, or they realize that it is, but they're getting chased deeper and deeper because it's like, okay, I overcame this, now I'll break out of my, nope, this is even worse that we're going to pull up out of your psyche and shove at you. And then we're going to go worse. And then, like I said, in one of them, it starts off with one person's kind of nightmare, but they aren't really too upset about it. And then it focuses over, and another character is in there that's not a main DC character at all. It's like somebody that works in the office building across from them has gotten stuck in that character's nightmare, and they're the one that's freaking out about it. And the person who's having the dream is okay with it, so they aren't trying to change anything. So this other person is like, but everything is wrong. What is going on? So it's really interesting to see how they all react to what's going on with them. And I can't wait to see the second parts of them, because some of them are already starting to connect with each other and figure it out. And there are some people that are awake.
How many
I found out
you said at this point? 11 of them?
11 so far.
That's not too hard to catch up on that.
No, and they're really fast.
And these all just came out. And see, Leo, I'm oblivious to all this you're putting up here, all this eBay stuff.
I'm worried that I'm watching Leo spend money.
And the pricing and stuff. And like, I can't believe these just came out and they're already getting like $40 for them.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to the seller's market.
So it looks like it started last week.
Yeah. Yeah, I mentioned it. It's like I said, I don't really have much of an interest in it. No disrespect to all the creators.
No.
You got Joshua Williamson, Howard Porter, and then all the other artists and writers involved. It's just, and it's a horror DC story. I was like, this is right up my alley, but I
Kari made it sound a lot more interesting. I might jump on now.
I'm a horror nerd though, so
I was splitting it in my poll.
So let me ask a question here. Like with this recall that got all of us to take a look at it.
Yes.
Do you think this was a marketing ploy? Like, hey, let's
I always wondered that because like they get them to a certain point and then they're like, hey, I always think it would be smarter of them to just let the mistake go and not draw any attention to it, because then it doesn't become like this big collector's item.
I think it's a printing flaw that just unfortunately they couldn't correct, and they were like, okay, we'll just ship it anyway. It's already made. We have deadlines to reach, and then like you said, before you know it, it could end up being a hot commodity, so they can make back whatever money they spent. But
that's true.
It could be a marketing move, though. It could be like a mistake that they made into a marketing move. And they were like, oh, well, this wasn't what it was supposed to be, so let's let everyone know what it was supposed to be and see if we can get some buzz going, perhaps.
Ooh, somebody has a bundle.
But I would like to redeem that with something.
Relax, Leo.
Oh, a bundle. I have that Poison Ivy one.
The reprint?
Yep. And the original. The original is down in
this week I'm shopping with Leo.
So Leo, is your local LCS sold out of these? They only came out a week ago.
I'll check with my LCS
before you drop $100.
Usually,
I'm not going to drop $100.
The scalpers have already picked through and grabbed whatever's in there. I would assume.
What issue is that Batman?
Which one? The 181?
That's it?
The reprint of 181? No.
That's it. The Poison Ivy one, right?
Yeah, 181. Volume 1.
Leo, we still doing the show, or are you just shopping?
Hey, Facebook user. I'd like for him to show up.
Yeah.
See, it's Jar Jar's fault, It's
after the show, man. We got a lot of news.
Well, he's got your credit card running hot in your pocket. Down. Is that what Jar Jar did?
No,
I had it written down what to do when a comic is recalled, and I was like, buy for cover and sell quick. But Leo's doing the exact opposite. Leo's just like, Leo's the person that I probably sold a bunch of stuff to.
Are you Terrific Con? You're gonna have a lot of lollipops so kids can know what it's like to be a sucker. That's what I'm seeing here, and I would divert.
How come you Facebook user? You know us.
Yeah.
Facebook user, you head on over to StreamYard.com/Facebook, and you too can have your name show up with your image.
Yeah.
In the comments.
Yeah, but Joe's too crazy to do that, so he's not
gonna. So Drew, hold on one second. I'm going to answer your question with a statement. 41 copies of X-Men #1.
He loves comic books. I gotta say, it's like, damn, Leo.
Not anymore.
I kind of admire his love for it.
I do, but then I want to be like, I'd like to see your credit card bill. And then I'm like, well, I'm something better about myself. Thank you.
No. It's actually not that.
Item number 2 after 24 minutes.
Rich, thank you.
You're welcome.
Please, save before this becomes the Splash Punch shopping channel. On sale today, we have a wonderful Batman variant that got recalled because it showed Batman's penis. Oh, yes. Man, damn, issue #1. Thank you.
I didn't recall that, though.
No,
they did.
They did.
Did they?
You can't show. This is the same thing happened with the Spider-Man
Oh, I
issue.
have a
Showed
issue.
some of Peter's genitalia. Marvel's like, whoa, no, Spider-Man can't have nads. So they were like, we got to reprint that. So I know because I have the one with the nads. And I was like, look at that web shooter. But moving on, please. Rich, you were news. You had news.
All right. So we'll distract Leo. Leo, Superman Legacy. So James Gunn announced some casting announcements this past week, which are pretty exciting. So the first was a trio, and I'm pulling that up as we speak. No, a trio. Trio. So he announced Green Lantern, Guy Gardner, Hawkgirl, and Mr. Terrific.
Nice.
Oh.
Yes. And so we've got Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner, Green Lantern.
Okay.
And we have Isabel Merced as Hawkgirl.
Okay.
And then we have Edie Gathegi as Mr. Terrific.
Oh, great.
So three great. Well, actually, I can't say that I know about Isabel Merced, but the other two, I rather enjoy their acting chops.
Now this makes me wonder on the big. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Let's discuss. Yes.
Oh,
yes.
I was like, with three other heroes in this, it really makes me wonder how big the bad's going to be in this. Like you've already got Superman, who's goddamn powerful.
Right.
Like, who's the baddie that we're going after? That you need Mr. Terrific, Hawkgirl, and goddamn, the name's escaping me.
I go there.
Mr. Fantastic.
No. Mr. Terrific's in it. Mr. Fantastic's a whole different universe.
But also, Jeremy,
Gardner.
We're piggybacking off of other.
And what's his name? Guy Gardner, but
Nathan
not
Fillion.
Molecule Man.
Metamorpho.
Metamorpho. Yes, thank you.
Yes. Metamorpho, played by Anthony Carey.
That was the addition.
Mm-hmm. No, so who we know as No Hank from Barry.
Yes. Yeah, Barry is such a good show.
Yeah, and he's hilarious. So I was like, he's Metamorpho. I was like, oh, this is gonna be great.
Yeah.
But I mean, you have all these heroes, but if I can be totally honest with you, I'm a little hesitant about Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner. Like,
really?
Yeah,
I think it's kind of a good match.
You know what it is? It's Guy Gardner is generally considered the asshole of Green Lanterns. So seeing Nathan Fillion as that, like, to be quite honest, I would have cast him more as Booster Gold. But that's just me. You know. But I think it's going to be great. And correct me if I'm wrong, Velvet, but didn't they also announce 4 different comics that you kind of should read to kind of understand where Legacy would be coming from?
No. Sorry, guys. I just my computer just rebooted. I don't know if I was frozen. I disappeared. I have no idea.
You disappeared for 1 second, but you came back pretty quick.
They pointed out a number of comics. If you want to get an idea of where they came up with the ideas that you could read. Right. But it wasn't necessarily like, it's not so, because this is the reboot, so you don't have to read those to know what's going on. It's just one of those, we were inspired by these, so if you want to get a feel for what it's going to be like before you go in, you can read them and then,
okay,
you know, kind of jive with it that way.
Yeah. So the books are Superman Birthright, All-Star Superman, Superman Brainiac, and Superman Ending Battle.
I've read 2 of those.
And I've seen based on that, they speculated that Brainiac is going to be the bad guy in this. I don't know. Do you guys feel strongly about that, or yay or nay?
If it's the right actor, Brainiac can be great.
Sure.
You know,
I just.
I mean, how many times can it? But this is the same thing happens, Velvet. How many times can we do the same version, a different version of the same character? Like, how many Lex Luthors have
I'm in Smallville.
You know, so I think. Listen, I have faith in James Gunn.
I do too, especially after just watching
Who's
Guardians 3.
hold on 1 second. Who's growling?
That's my dog.
Okay.
He's snoring.
Oh, way to wake up the dog, Leo.
All right, Gus, you got to get down.
Yeah, I think I agree with Drew. So far
Sorry
James
about that.
Gunn has had a great track record, and even though I'm a little bit nervous about all these extra characters, I'm still trying to give him the benefit of the doubt until he proves me wrong.
Well, everything we've seen from him has been incredible, and he knows how to use like lesser known characters. And it doesn't have to be all of them fighting one big bad. It could be just, them adding commentary. We're having a younger Superman in the movie. Maybe he's, learning the ropes, and maybe these are just some heroes to guide him along the way.
It's true. It's really hard to say, but honestly, I'm.
You think he calls up Guy Gardner? It's just like, so Guy,
No,
this problem over here.
They meet at the coffee shop to talk about their problems.
Yes.
Dear God.
I had a friend that I hadn't talked to for a bit that I got in touch with the other night, and we got talking about all this. And he's like, and I wish Brandon were here just for this, but he was like, so I read this article on IGN, and they're totally ruining Superman because of the casting, because he's too thin. And I was just like, okay, let me go ahead and rebut this. Like, I have so many things for you to read right now.
If I have to hear a person say that James Gunn is ruining Superman, I'm just going to be like, how many books have you read? Oh, 4? I've read 400. Shut up.
Well, also, if you
blink.
know your Superman history, look at Christopher Reeve one, and Brandon did an excellent job, talking about this. But if you look at like Christopher Reeve when, he was first cast, he was skinny as a rail. Same thing with Cavill. Cavill was really thin when he was cast as well.
Right.
And they know they need to bulk up, but it doesn't need to be super bulky for a Superman. This isn't a friggin' DCU, comic, or not comic, cartoon.
Right.
Well, even the new cartoon is a pretty slim.
No,
Superman.
I'm talking about the animated movies where you have this like all buffed out Superman.
Oh, I know, the animated series.
Like I said, in terms of that, it is what it is. And DC, like I said, DC has not been really impressing me with all the news lately. And it's so funny because they're doing just as much as Marvel, but I feel like Marvel has so much more going for them. And I'm not even reading their books. But I feel like if I look up Marvel news when we're doing research for our show, it's 25 minutes. DC news, 10 minutes.
Right, and we've got Blue Beetle coming out in a few weeks, and I feel like DC's kind of dropping the ball on the marketing. They're really not doing much. I mean, we saw the trailer maybe a week and a half ago.
Yeah, and
that new trailer is the shit though. That was awesome.
Exactly, like you just said, Velvet. I had no idea it was a new trailer.
Oh wow,
I had no idea. But like you said, where is the marketing? Do they want this movie to succeed? Where is it?
I know they're doing a Burger King meal.
The Beetle Burger?
Yeah, they're doing a Beetle Burger with a blue bun. And
That's a hoax.
I'm sure our buddy
not real?
Bro is going to do a taste.
Tom even said no, and I looked it up after he mentioned it. That was a hoax that they're just doing.
Oh, really?
He's trying to play off of the Spider-Man thing. Yeah.
Oh, okay. My mistake then.
And it's so funny because, like I said, going back to nose, like DC isn't doing much, but then there's things they're doing that are big notice. Like, I don't know if you guys heard, but DC is they're breaking into manga.
I did see some of that.
Breaking into the manga like network because they're using their DC Universe Infinite app.
No, that's not it.
That is definitely not it. That was
no. Where is it?
Unless it's Moon Manga.
Yeah. So they're doing 3 different manga kinds, which are going to be. This is added to their app. So this is their collaboration with, and I apologize ahead of time if I said this wrong, Kodansha. So there are 3 series. One is called Joker, One Operation Joker. The second one is Superman versus Messi, and the other one is Batman Justice Buster.
Should Superman be eating a bowl of rice on that cover?
I like that.
Yeah,
That seems a little.
Yeah. So you have, they're going to be, this isn't back in February, DC announced the in-press release, but now you can get the manga in the weekly chapters. You know, that's how manga is released now. So the Joker, the Superman one, and the Batman one, they're all going to be there Tuesday, September 5th at shops. And I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. That's manga. You know, they've dabbled in it before, but I was like, okay, cool. Like, you're doing something new, like props.
I've been a manga reader.
Jeremy, I'm totally feeling you that Superman cover's a little offensive.
Yeah, I was just like, that's a little. I don't know. Like, is it the Asian Superman?
Like eating a bowl.
Jeremy, I think the word you're looking more for is pandering.
Yeah, very pandering.
Oh, you know, maybe. There you go.
I think the Batman came out this week.
Yeah, some of it some of it came out earlier than anticipated.
I kind of like the little, if that is a trench coat, the trench coat look on him.
Yeah,
kind of interesting.
Very similar to the Batman movie.
But I will say, we talked about one crappy cover. I really want to show this awesome Starfire cover that I saw that by I believe the artist's name is Nathan Siduri. This was a variant for the Titans 1 relaunch that they did, which I've read. It's a great book. I mean, Tom Taylor does no wrong. I thought this was fantastic. I mean, the model is gorgeous, but the Titans history is tattooed on her. Like, you have
pretty
the
dope.
variations of the Titans are on her body, and I was just like, man, that's super cool. Like, you got the arm, you got her and Nightwing, you got Raven, Donna, Wally. On the other arm, you've got Donna, Raven, and you got her and Starfire being best buds, and then Nightwing, and then you have the classic teams. You've got Raven, Starfire, Cyborg, and Beast Boy, and then at the bottom you have what were the new Teen Titans. You got Nightwing, you got the whole team, and then you have Bumblebee, and you also have Terra, who, as we know, would betray the Titans with Destiny.
Well, also for those that don't know, Titans replaced the Justice League.
Yes, they are now the premier defenders of DC's.
Yeah, and it's no longer Teen Titans; it's just Titans.
Titans. But I thought the cover was super awesome, and I loved the work. And I was like, man, that's a good variant cover, you know. So I don't. But that's just me. I think women with tattoos are cool. You know. But yeah, like I said, those are the only things I have for DC. Like, I have a shit ton of Marvel to cover. Like,
yeah, the only other thing I have is Marvel as well.
Yeah, so Rich, I need to say this. I should have put money down.
Yeah, when what was it? It wasn't even 3 months ago. Maybe it was like 2 months ago. You went on a wicked rant about the death of Kamala Khan, aka Ms. Marvel, because about deaths meaning nothing, and the characters always come back.
Yep.
And here it is. We hit July, and they announced that not only is Ms. Marvel coming back, but they're going to make her a mutant.
Yeah.
Which ties in with what she is in the MCU. So they're retconning or reconning her history to no longer be of Kree descendant or have Kree DNA of some sort. And now we don't know how they're going to unfold this.
Well, yeah.
But it's definitely interesting. And the parallel to the MCU, are they pandering to the MCU? Are they collaborating? What do you think?
Honestly, Rich, like, I think regardless of what they're trying to do, I think it's a little too much now, because before the comics could exist and be slightly influenced, but they could still be their own thing while the films are their own thing. Now, because the MCU is so popular, we have to make sure the comics mirror the what's going on
movie
screen.
But we like that idea when James Gunn's doing it for DC. So do we not like it for Marvel for them to try to do the same thing?
I think it's like,
I'm okay with it.
You know,
are they also updating her powers to match the Marvel universe?
Yes,
they are.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
But I mean, they're trying to update her powers now that she'll come back, most likely through X-Men's Krakoa Resurrection protocols. They'll probably bring her back and have her powers match her on-screen portrayal a bit more, because we, she had that embiggening ability. So I think we're going to see more of her powers closer to her portrayal. And it's actually funny because the new series is actually going to be written by the girl who portrays the character, Iman Vellani.
Oh, nice.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So what Leo just showed were 4 variant covers by Betsy Cola, Elizabeth Tork, Luciana Vicci, and Lucas Vernick. This is her X-Men one. That's that. And then Leo, the one on the right, Leo, when I'm talking about it, doesn't mean change the subject. The one on the right is a mirror to her, to Miss Marvel 1, the original cover that G. Willow Wilson and Alonso Fana and Sarah Pacelli did for Miss Marvel way back in the day when she was first starting. So that's an homage to that original cover. But speaking of Velvet, that besides this huge change, Vellani, who's a huge fan of the character prior to portraying her, said that her inhuman heritage, as you brought up, descendants of the Krees and said such, is not going to be completely erased. So she said that that's part of Kamala's identity, and they really want to keep and protect that. So their book is going to reflect essentially the core themes of identity that Miss Marvel comics have explored. But now that there's this whole new label that Kamala has to essentially accept, it's going to be crazy, because before she was an Indian, now she's a mutant, and as we know, Marvel world has a love-hate relationship with mutants. So the layers.
Crazy, a lot of stuff. Now on top of that, now we've got the Ms. Marvel writer. I guess she had actually come in, and pulling up her exact name in just a second. Her name is A.C. Bradley.
Right.
She did not receive payment for the scripts, and she rewrote the entire series.
No, that's kind of
now
BS.
apparently the old writing team left, and they rewrote the whole script on the fly. She's also the head writer for Marvel's What If series. And she is just frustrated. And with the WGA thing going on, she didn't get paid for this. And that does not put Disney in a good light. While I know that we all enjoy the entertainment that it gives us, boy, some of the back end shit is just evil and horrid what they do to these poor people that work for them.
Well,
They
I
create,
think
the entertainment that we all enjoy. They make millions of dollars on.
And I think, Rich, to piggyback on what you're saying, is that a lot of the stories coming from the actors, writers, and whatnot, is it's essentially telling us the truth about something that I think that a lot of ways we take for granted. We don't really think about it because we're the consumer. As long as we're getting fed that sweet, sweet product, we don't really care where it comes from. This is kind of like realizing that something that you enjoyed is actually bad for you. Like, what was it? Does anyone here watch What We Do in the Shadows?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, of course.
So you guys know the actor who plays Colin Robinson, right?
Yep.
Right. He admitted in a recent article that he made more on the residuals for the 19 episodes of The Office he did than he's made on all 5 seasons of What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh, wow.
Extrapolate that. So that's what I'm saying. So it's, again, a lot of these people are, we're seeing more of their struggle. Like, writers have trouble coming up with rent, putting food on the table for their families, supporting themselves. and they could write a hit script for a great show, but they don't see that extra change. They don't see that beyond recognition. Sometimes they do. You have to acknowledge sometimes you know. So I think it's a lot of reality. So we go back to our previous dimensions of just enjoying this idly. Now we know, and that affects our perception of the nerd world. It's the same thing like if we don't like a comic, we're not going to buy it because we don't want to support that, you know? But just because we stop buying that comic doesn't mean that other people will, because some people are going to ride the trend. And a lot of them are because they still like the character, which, okay, cool. You can like it. I don't. Or
if it has a special cover.
Right. Like Jeremy and Leo, the collectors. Some of them, they want the nostalgia. Some of them, they want to see how much they can get if they wait for that sweet spot time. You know,
brings up another interesting point that with both the actors and the writers' strike going on at the same time, and with projects that are still releasing, we are going to see. We're going to have to see if these entities can still figure out promotions, because they're not going to have the actors to go out and do interviews.
Right.
No.
And Rich, that's another thing, because we see that a lot on our Facebooks. Because Rich, I'm still, you know, I still know a lot of people in the cosplay world. I'm sure you do as well. So you see a lot of people posting about conventions, about certain people supposedly can't do a lot. And there's a lot of conflicting information going around. So that us being people who are going to try to do interviews, for creators and celebrities, we have to ask them now, like, are there subjects that you don't want to talk about or you can't? So
I've always asked that.
But especially now, Jeremy, like before it was more.
No, definitely. Now I would just assume you cannot talk anything about future projects with any celebs.
No, we have to stick to a specific project.
Stuff that they've done in the past. Okay, but
right,
anything
or like a
future
story that happened, you know, or if we just have the idea and be like, listen, we know that you have this coming up. Best of luck to that. You know, hopefully the next time we see you, we can talk about that next time. You know, we can work our way around it without sounding completely depressing. Like,
but I read on 4chan that you're in the leak for the script of the new Thor movie. Like, can you tell me about that? Right?
Yeah,
we can ask that, right?
Yeah. We can if you want to be the Jimmy Olsen guy who dropped the hammer. So you want to do that, gorgeous? You go right ahead. Speaking of Thor, Kari, did you have something?
How's the mic doing right now? Are you okay?
Well, I'm still hearing it, but not as bad as it was before. So maybe as you cover something, unmute yourself and then just pop back on mute rather than just, hopping off. So I think that'd be best.
All right. Sorry about this, guys. Something weird is going on with my nets. So speaking of Thor, starting on, it's going to be released in August 23rd. Al Ewing is going ahead and releasing Immortal Thor. He earlier did the Immortal Hulk, which I just finished reading a while ago, which was amazing. And he's going to be using Kirby's Loki, so it's not the latest Loki who's all ornery and evil and mean. He's going to try to go back to like the buddies and stuff sort of thing. And he's also embracing some of the Norse Eddas and the old sagas to bring it back and try to figure out how to tie in the comic book Thor with the actual Norse Thor from the Norse gods.
Oh, I know what they're doing.
So yeah, so they're like, he had to look really hard to find a way to cross it over, but he's hoping to release about 50 of those, which is what he did with Immortal Hulk. And then spin-offs and one-shots and stuff and crossovers will go as they are. And with the release of the Immortal Hulk #3, it is going to be the first of Marvel's Super Stories variant covers. And that will be released in October. And they're going to be doing different variant covers of each of its heroes reading one of their own comic books. So Immortal Thor 3 is going to have...
Hence Thor laying against a tree reading a comic book. I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah, he's going to be reading God's Number One.
Right.
And
makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Well,
and oh, yes.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, Kari, from what I understand of it, this is a tool that they want to use to help comic shops by pointing customers to these sure to be big titles. You know, considering what we've seen with God's issue 1, Hickman and Valerio Vescitti they're swinging for the goddamn bleachers. So, you know, I guess they want to drum up as much success as they can for books like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I was out of the comic collecting for a while, but I never saw comics out. I mean, you see them advertising other comics in the thing, but not by reading them on the covers. So you can see the cover of somebody else's cover drawn by somebody else. I'm going around in circles here.
By the way, the noise went away, so I think you're good.
Yeah.
Kari.
Cool. Oh, okay, awesome.
Yeah.
And if I have one more, I just have the one last piece of thing here. While we're speaking about October and Al Ewing, this October they are going to be releasing Crypt of Shadows. And Leo, I don't know if you have that is one of the most beautiful. It's a Lionel Francis U cover, if you can't tell. It's just gorgeous. And they're going to be doing down below?
Yeah.
Yep. Got little Deadpool and Daredevil and Wanda and Hulk and some folks in the background, Man-Thing, Wolf by Night, and a mummy. I can't remember. But the stories that are being written, Al Ewing is writing Victor Strange, Doctor Strange's younger brother, goes farming deeper than ever into the crypt as he once again plays host to the frightful festivities, framing the entire thing. And then there will be a couple of other stories like involving everyone you can see: Wolf by Night, Hulk, Daredevil and Man-Thing, Scarlet Witch, and Deadpool. He is going to be Deadpool is with the living mummy. So that's everything we got up on that.
That makes sense since Deadpool's into death.
Well, that's super cool. And that kind of piggybacks off on another kind of unexpectedly spooky story that they'll also be telling in October, bringing back the fact that at one point Captain America was a werewolf.
Yeah, that originally
Wolf of London
happened in issue 405 of that's when it started. The first time was issue 405 of volume 1. Captain America.
Wouldn't that be Miss Carter of London?
Yeah. So basically, written by Stephanie Phillips, art by Carlos Magno. The synopsis is: when Captain America is transformed into a werewolf on the front lines of World War II, he'll need the help of the Howling Commandos. I feel like I'm kind of chanting a little Stan Lee storytelling here. So, to take down a band of Nazi cultists who attend to use supernatural threats to turn the tide of the battle. Can Cap control the skeptical, jaded commandos when he can barely control himself? The Stan Lee reading was unintentional, but somehow made it better. So the team seems very excited about it. The writer, Stephanie Phillips, I mean, it's a 4-issue miniseries. She said, "This is the kind of story I was dying to tell at Marvel, blending my love of historical fiction with the characters of the Marvel Universe. So Cap will maybe a war story, but it will have horror, romance, and a few new characters they're going to introduce on the way. That'll be out October 11th. I have to be honest, I didn't think I needed that, but I kind of want to read that.
I'm not a huge Cap fan, but that was fun.
I'm down for this one.
Right?
Only 4 issues as well, so it's not like you have to go out and do an incredible hunt of 40 issues.
Yeah, exactly. And on top of it, Jeremy, 4 issues. That's right up your attention span. You know?
Well,
yes.
I think a lot of us are getting sick of the long crossovers, you know?
Yeah.
It's keep to the shorter stories. That's what they need to do, you know?
100%. And then speaking of something also unexpected, because Velvet, you brought up that there's a lot going on at San Diego. Something interesting that I found out is that San Diego, we will find out who the new Punisher will be. So, to catch everybody up, end of the latest Punisher series written by Jason Aaron, Frank Castle, who was the quote-unquote High Slayer of the Hand, who is basically the head assassin for the Fist of the Beast, which, again, demonic ability, a demonic entity that gave him supernatural abilities. Frank basically pissed off everybody again in the Marvel Universe, and his crusade came to the end when he, quote-unquote, died. Finally, Frank Castle is, quote-unquote, dead. But then again, everybody, he has been dead before. I think we might remember the hilarious Franken-Castle incident in the early 2011s.
Well, this is also something that they needed to do anyway, because the Punisher icon has taken a negative placement in the press as of late.
I agree.
So I think it's good that, kill him off, bring him back with a new shirt, new look.
Is that the look that they're going with, though, that we see in this picture here?
Yeah, probably. I mean, honestly,
looks like crossbones.
And Leo and Jeremy, I see your point as well, but at the same time, a fictional character should not essentially pay the price, because some people can't separate from fiction, in my opinion. But I agree.
Right. And that iconic, unfortunately, that iconography that's already out there that exists is not going to disappear off the back of guys picking up trucks.
And it's just disappointing. But at the same time, we're seeing Frank going from the scourge of the underworld to the savior of the weird world. But the point being is that at San Diego, at one of the Marvel panels, they will reveal the new Punisher. So somebody is picking up where Frank Castle left off.
You mean it's not going to be Francis?
Nope, no Francis Castle. It is somebody new. So
Clark Kent.
God.
3 o'clock, Friday, July 12th. We will most likely know who that is, and we will talk about it on the show.
Peter Parker.
Moving on. But it appears Marvel
Superior Punisher.
It appears
Mephisto. It's always Mephisto.
Mephisto. It appears Marvel is in a transition phase, because they're deciding they want new people for all the roles, because Marvel also just announced that our friend Mark Spector, aka Moon Knight, may be no more as well. The Marvel just released a teaser for a storyline called The Last Days of Moon Knight, saying that from issue 20 to 30, Mark Spector's time at Moon Knight will end. Currently, Mark and his team are dealing with the return of the Black Spectre, which is a old villain coming back with a, of course, apocalyptic plan to destroy the world, starting, of course, with New York.
That sounds so original.
Indeed, I know. But they've been building toward this moment from issue 19, and with 28, it's Moon Knight versus Black Spectre. And essentially, the Marvel release says Mark Spector's journey will reach a climactic end, where he'll be in a deadly race to intercept Black Spectres before his apocalyptic schemes. Yeah, Jeremy, this does sound really familiar. Like every Marvel story. So in the end, I'm not even going to read this, because this is just what they do. There will be a new vengeance will be born.
Yes.
So I have a question.
Yes.
Do you think if a title, do they have like a dead man switch? Like if a title hits so many sales, like it dips below a certain percentage, does it automatically trigger, hey, we need to kill off this character in 2 months?
We need a revamp.
Leo, I think it's either that, or we need to go back to the original numbering, or this is costing us too much money. The book is over in 3 issues. Because again, as much as we are fans and we enjoy a good story, they are business. If the book is not making the money that it costs to print it, Marvel will cut their losses. So many great stories have ended that way because they didn't find the audience. It's the same thing with television now. You know, the days of Supernatural and Smallville where you could have 14 seasons, they're dinosaurs.
Well, that's definitely dinosaurs, but I think a lot of the money tracking is off. You know, like certain shows that should have continued. You know, they weren't making enough money. Eventually, I would imagine they would have. You know, once they find the right audience. You know, if something's that good. Same thing with comics. You know, maybe it's not making $2 million in a month, but if it's making profit, they should keep it going.
Well, the thing being is, Leo, is that you have this wide variety of characters, and now since the multiverse is such a big thing, like I'm tired of just like of seeing the same thing over and over again. Like, for example, they just announced that Mary Jane Watson is going to finally become Jackpot in the upcoming Amazing Spider-Man 31. So she's a new Marvel superhero, which she was teased at being
Harley Quinn
back in the Brand New Day phase. Because the original Jackpot was a Dr. Sarah Aarons who had a serum that gave her super strength, whatever. And a lot of the big deal is that a lot of Jackpot's mannerisms and such were thought to be Mary Jane, but it was just she's totally not. Like, the red hair and the famous line from her. But eventually Sarah Aarons dies.
Hey, Tiger,
is a
Jackpot.
Exactly. So Mary Jane, because the Amazing Spider-Man run going on hasn't been berated or controversial enough. Mary Jane is going to have new powers, something like a special gauntlet that she can use that's built by her current boyfriend, Paul. I was like, Paul. With 3 symbols. So she spins it, and like a slot machine, each one will have a new power. So she doesn't even know what that power is going to be or if it's even useful to her. So
that outfit, I mean, Jeremy said it right away. It's very reminiscent of Harley Quinn with the diamonds, the red and the black.
Yeah, it's like I said, like no disrespect to Humberto Ramos, who's the guy who that's his artwork. Coming up with it, he's a great artist that I've met him more than a few times, and great. I see this and I just keep thinking, why is this necessary? Why is Mary Jane a superhero? It's really not.
Yeah.
Like, and it sucks because the book has so many great artists attached to it, and I'm just thinking, I'm still not buying it because you're just recycling the same thing for something new versus, and on top of it, we have the multiverse now, so we can see different variations. Not all these stories are good, but then sometimes we get like a gem. Like Kari, you've been reading you've been getting into, in your Galactus search for new content, you've been getting into the Venom books.
Yeah, I just read all of the Extreme Venomverse today.
Right. And
today?
There's only 4 of them. They have 3 shorts that didn't. Yeah. No, I read. I won't even tell you what I read today. So.
Jeremy, that's about 10 minutes in Kari land. So
yeah, believe me, I understand. Like, I can't. I wish I had that much time to sit down. 10 minutes? Huh.
So, like Velvet, like we're talking about new ideas. Like they released a Venom a Venom noir.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that is so cool.
He's got the hat.
Yeah. In this story, which is Extreme Venomverse.
Ooh, I hope somebody cosplays that.
So this is Venom Noir in the Teeth of Beasts. You meet Father Brock. He's a priest at a 1941 church who has issues with gambling. So his bookie blackmails him to pay up, or he's going to face public disgrace from his flock because gambling is a sin. So he's freaking out. He's drunk. He's lost. Wanders into a church. What does he find? Again, it's the same story we know. Church, Eddie Brock, down on his luck. Venom symbiote. With, as Leo, if you can show the image again, you have the top hat and a priest robe. Like, I'm sorry, there's something terrifying about a man of cloth that will eat your face. So Father Brock visits his bookie, kills him, and then he avoids suspicion by framing a mentally ill man with a pseudo venom suit. And Father Brock escapes. And fun fact, the pseudo villain was Emil Gregg. In the other universe, our mainstream universe, that was the name of the copycat Sin Eater. That was the person that Eddie Brock ran the story that got his reputation destroyed. So that, yeah.
So he's stealing the idea from Impastor?
Basically.
With the whole series, there's a group there. Carnage is out trying to kill some of the Venoms, and there are various somehow traversing the different dimension Venoms that are all grabbing and saving each other. But in this last one, that this was in, the first one has no text at all. It's just this really beautiful story being told with pictures. And then there's this, and then the end one's just a really weird, kind of neat anime-ish style thing. But you get to see so many different variations and time periods. They even did one where, since there's Carnage and Venom both involved, they did a version of the Mask of the Red Death with like Venom as a Joker and Carnage coming in as the Red Death from the Poe story. So I'm not like the biggest Venom fan in the world, but when I saw this and saw there were only a couple of books to read, I was sitting down and reading it, and there's so many authors involved in all the different styles. It was just gorgeous. I really do recommend, if you have some extra time, to check them out.
Yeah, but essentially, Velvet, the point being is that there's a Venom for everybody. It's the same thing, like there's a Superman, there's a Batman. So really, there's no reason to complain because everybody's got one.
Indeed. The beauty of the multiverse.
Indeed. So, but I'm also a bit of a subtle, like an early Spider-Man noir fan. So seeing a Venom noir, I was like, oh, that's going to be cool. And it did not disappoint. So hopefully, I mean, I would love to see that at a con. And I would also love to see more of that, like a psycho Venom priest. Like that's.
I just miss Venom being after Spider-Man. I miss those stories. I used to love that kind of stuff with Venom.
Oh, and you got the most amazing covers, like Venom holding Spider-Man's skull with like the torn mask, and but a lot of that was all it was McFarlane and Eric Larson.
Yes, I was just about to say that. Yeah. That was the David Michelin, Eric Larson, McFarlane era. Yeah.
Yep. It was gorgeous.
True. I used to love Spider-Man, reading Spider-Man stories so much. And now every time you give me a new description of one, I'm so glad I'm not reading them now.
Well, that's
which makes me a little sad.
Well, that's of it is like sometimes like there are versions where I see them trying to mirror what's happening in the MCU, and I think, wow, that's actually kind of cool. And then there are some times where I'm just like, no. Like, you just kind of feel like, okay, if this is as good as it gets, maybe we take a year of Spider no more. You know?
And I get they're trying, but I don't know. Maybe they need to do like those panels where people like give you a feel for it before they decide to roll it out.
I guess. I don't know.
Well, I think they just need to go back to basics, kind of like, Batman, just bring it back to basics. Last time I tried to get back into Spider-Man, I found out Doc Ock like possessed Spider-Man's body.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Which was a good story.
It was. Not gonna give that. But it's just like I said, when doing the research, I find some like I feel the same way you do. Like I read this news, I'm like, I'm so. But then there are certain things that I find that are pretty cool. Like I'm not gonna lie, like I saw the new lineup of Thunderbolts that they want to do, and I'm like, you know what? That looks pretty freaking cool. Like, Leo, run the clip. Leo, can I get a full size one?
No. I'll find it.
So you can see 3 of the Thunderbolts. That's it.
Yeah. So basically,
Croc.
basically, Colin Kelly and Jackson Lanzig, who were working on Captain America: Sentinel of Liberty, their next project starting in December is Thunderbolts. So you have Bucky, who has a new role his entity is called the Revolution. He is a character who has
Dearly beloved,
essentially
gathered here today.
Thank you. He basically all these dark secrets, and essentially he's going to use them to take down Marvel's greatest threats. So you got the new lineup is Black Widow, Sharon Carter, aka Destroyer. I'm like, okay. White Widow, which I believe is Natasha's sister.
Mm-hmm.
Red Guardian, USA Agent, and Shang-Chi. So you have Bucky is the main commander. And then the second command is Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, who, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe used to be Lady Hydra. I don't know if she still is anymore. I just know you can't trust her. So essentially, like I said, Marvel, they're the new Thunderbolts. And I'm kind of really excited about that because that looks really cool. So
I think they're a great spy team, but definitely not a super powerful team.
No.
Well, that was the thing, is that they're looking at it is Bucky is going after the establishment. You're going after people no one is willing to take down or trust. And he's going to do whatever it takes to win. So these are black ops heavy hitters. Mm-hmm. So the targets are going to be Red Skull, Kingpin. They even talk about Dr. Doom. So Kelly and Lanzig said every spy, assassin, renegade has a part to play, and Bucky Barnes is all-encompassing and uncompromising hit on the singular, monstrous, living form of fascism, the Red Skull. So their first target will be taking down the Red Skull himself.
Nazis.
4-part espionage arc. The cast is going to be constantly shifting. And then essentially the goal is to tear down a century of Nazi evil with quote unquote justice like lightning. And I think with this formula, you really do get the idea that the Thunderbolts are the Marvel Suicide Squad.
Yes.
You know, but, and I agree with what Brill said.
That would be a good fit.
Silver Sable and the Thunderbolts, that would be super cool.
Could see that.
What the hell is she doing? Again,
Nothing.
I'm enjoying. I was like, again, I think that's cool. I don't know if I would buy it, but like that kind of thing, or this new book that Hickman's working on, Gods.
Gods.
I mean, I don't know if you guys saw the preview pages that they just released, but it's looking pretty cool.
What's the premise of the story, Drew, on Gods?
The premise is that it's basically you're reinventing the cosmology of the Marvel universe. So cosmic beings, magic, it's big. So essentially you have two factors, the powers that be and the natural order of things. So we're going to see faces we already know, Doctor Strange, Clea, Mr. Fantastic. Yes, Mr. Fantastic, Mr. Leo.
Not opposed to Mr. Terrific.
Yeah, and Dr. Doom. So we're going to learn that the magical society, they have their own alert system. And in the first book, we learn that the big baddie is called a Babylon event. So this is a rare event with the potential to essentially upend the forces behind existence. So things like Eternity, Infinity, and the Living Tribunal, you know, the three-headed cosmic face of our universe, this thing essentially can fuck that shit up. So I do believe the terms were used. Old acquaintances are reunited. The Lion of the Wolves throws the worst parties. Don't look under the table. There's a John Wilkes Booth penny on the ground.
So if this is a Babylon event, will it tell us what happened in Babylon 1 through 4?
Probably. SCW. But essentially,
I got the reference.
Essentially, this is a new thing. I've never heard of a book doing something like this. And Hickman said the first issue is going to be about 55 pages. So that's a big first book. And he said by the end of that issue, you're going to have a good idea what the book is. So
drawing the line at $9.99.
Basically. So that comes out October 4th. So pretty big.
October 4th, 3 days before my birthday. Happy birthday.
So honestly, beyond that, I don't really have any much more news that we can discuss. There was a small thing. Joe Quesada shared a page of his latest Marvel project he's working on. He said we're going to see more about it. He shared this via his Substack. He's working on it, keeping it on the DL. He said he was talking about it back in 2021, but he said it involves Marvel superheroes and lots of stuff happened. So he's being amazingly as vague as possible. Then again, he was Marvel's chief creative officer for a while. So now he's with Amazon Studios. He's working with them and their stuff. He did a film, and as we saw, he's been doing some covers for DC. He did that Batman 900 cover, which we all really enjoyed. And he had this really nice style that I enjoyed, but he had this great story about his first meeting with Stan Lee. That Stan passed along the formula for a good Marvel character. And he said it has little to do with plot and everything to do with character. So Quesada said, I looked at Stan's notes and noticed that no one had anything to do with structure, superpowers, action scenes, or continuity. They were all about Matt Murdock, T'Challa, Frank Castle, and Black Bolt. So, again, I guess it's style over getting caught up in the detail.
And a dash of salt.
Yep, all the salt. But yeah, that's all the news I had. So
now, Leo, have you gotten a chance to check out Superman the animated series yet? The new one?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, they've had 3 episodes, correct?
Yep, 4th comes out Friday.
I heard renewed for season 2.
Yeah.
Yes.
Leo, what do you think?
It's really good so far. The animation is it's definitely, you talking about manga earlier. It definitely has like a manga-ish feel, an anime feel. But I mean, the story's been great so far. I think Jack Quaid is doing a great job as Superman. Animation's good, story's good, everything's good so far.
Very cool.
And did you see it, Velvet?
I watched all 3 episodes. I really enjoyed the first 2 episodes. The third one didn't have me quite as tight. I was a little distracted during it. But I'm still in there. I'm ready for the 4th.
So, Jar Jar, you said you saw it as well?
Oh yeah. It's my Friday morning treat now. It's like, hey, got some chores done. Let's sit down and watch some Legacy. Or not Legacy. I wish it was Legacy. Soon.
I have to ask one question. Did we all see Guardians 3 yet?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Kari? No? Oh.
So sad, man. Harley is an empath, and we wrecked her for like 3 days.
I told you.
I'm very tepid about watching it. I can't see animals getting hurt.
Yeah, but Leo, it's all crucial to Rocket's backstory.
And they're CGI animals.
Yeah.
Still,
Like
I felt for the damn dinosaur crying at the end of the dock in the last.
I know. I was with you on that one. That one was rough.
It was rough. But for those of us that have seen it, I mean, my only really negative about it was why bother with Adam Warlock at this point?
I didn't understand the use of him.
Well, guys, I think we should agree that let's hold off until Leo see it so he can understand context. So,
well, I agree though, Rich. I I didn't see the use of him in this film.
No,
I like that actor, but I did not like him.
Yeah. No, Will Poulter did a great job, but if you took Adam Warlock out of Guardians 3, the movie still would have been phenomenal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And,
so
I mean, as an introduction, I was not wowed.
Well, you have to understand is that we're looking at is we know who Adam was. He plays a huge role in the Infinity Gauntlet, and to just take that and you make him nothing. It's just they marvelized him. They were just like, oh, he's this OP character, but he's really funny though.
But I will say, I forget the actor that plays the High Evolutionary.
He was in Peacemaker.
He was creepy.
Yeah, I want to say he was one of the more. I want to say definitely the top 2 or 3 best Marvel villains because he was fucking scary.
He's a great actor. Great actor. Whoever that dude is, he was.
Well, he was in Peacemaker.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He was. So, but Leo, please get a chance to see it so we can talk about it.
Yeah. Was it Shukadi Iwiji?
Yeah. Sounds about right.
Yeah, something similar to that in
pronunciation. Yeah. I'm not gonna.
Before we get to Logan, we do have to acknowledge one thing, Wolverine related, and it's been talked about, but we just have to say it. The new suit looks amazing.
Mm-hmm. Very X-Men 97 style. Wolverine, Hugh Jackman.
Even the haircut.
Deadpool kills the Marvel universe.
Now, what version? I mean, there are so many versions that could still be. Any speculation?
As much as I'm excited about seeing the yellow and blue, because again, there was that reference in the 2000 X-Men that kind of came full circle. I kind of would have loved the one that was in the deleted scene of Wolverine. You know, the orange and brown.
Mm.
I always thought that one was a little bit like cooler, in my opinion. You know, like don't get me wrong, the yellow one is still right.
Like, and will we see a cowl at all?
Maybe for a bit, to be quite honest, because Hugh Jackman's moneymaker. They want to show off, you know.
Now with some of that sneak peek, they also had some like video, and it looked like the Fox X-Men logo or the Fox logo, Fox Searchlight.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was kind of interesting that they're going to possibly do like a Deadpool kills the Fox universe, the Fox X-Men universe.
I read a leaked script, not the full script, but like
a piece.
Yeah,
Leo,
just
you are
no. Okay, hold on. I doubt it's real. Okay.
Okay.
But it had some good ideas, like what happened with. I think they talk about what happened with Cable. Essentially, the TVA prunes the Fox universe, so that's why you see it like discarded like that, because they're in the void from Loki.
Yeah. Okay. That, you know what? I would not be mad with that.
Well, we are supposed to have Owen Wilson in this, so
Mobius. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that. I know was talk of Gambit being in it and a few other characters.
Yeah, there's a lot of rumors that are. I don't think anyone's really confirmed. I mean, from Professor X to Cyclops to Famke Janssen,
even the
Channing Tatum.
The leak that I read talked about Wanda fighting Phoenix.
I saw that too.
Yeah, a lot of fan theory, and I have to say, like, again, you have to think about how it will fit in a narrative sense, but also special effects. That's a lot of money, and you have to have that really good. You have to sell it, and just because it looks cool in the comic does not mean it's going to look cool on the big screen. So we've seen that many a time.
Do you think we're going to get an actual winner out of this? Like, do you think that like Deadpool's gonna kill Wolverine.
It's going to be a Freddy versus Jason situation. It's going to be a draw.
Well,
I do
And then
feel
they go to hell.
confident- I feel confident about one cameo, which would be Chris Evans as Captain America, and I feel that way because Ryan Reynolds had a cameo in Ghosted. I don't know if any of you guys saw that. So I think some of these guys like to throw cameos at each other.
So here's the question: would he be Captain America or would he be Human Torch?
That's an excellent question as well.
Oh, it would be funny if he was Human Torch.
I would, if it was Human Torch, especially
with the whipped cream and the cherries.
Okay, so we're talking about Logan now. So I don't have any more news. I don't know if you, Leo, did you have any other news? Jeremy?
No,
Nope.
I think we covered it all.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think
A lot of news. So Logan, guys, this is a very short book because one, I wanted something that Jeremy wouldn't have to cry over. You're like, he gives me another 12-issue miniseries. Fucking guy hates me.
I don't feel like I'm the only person that gets a little like shied away from 12 issues.
You and Leo were just like, how many variants is this? There's 2 issues. Like, doesn't seem like I'm fighting, buddy. Listen. You can say what you will about Brian K. Vaughan working in Marvel or DC properties. I loved this book. I thought it was such a great, simple story, and it was coming off of a time when Logan's memories had came back, which we saw as a result of 2004's House of M. So now Logan remembers everything. There's no more, oh, I don't know what I am. Who the fuck is this? He knows it all. So this is a story about it. And I thought he nailed it. 3 issues, and the story was beautiful. And on top of it, the artwork is just fantastic.
I absolutely agree.
So,
I had a lot of fun reading this.
Yeah.
Beginning to end.
The end of the first issue killed me when you realize where he is.
Oh, right?
Yeah.
I was like, oh no.
It does set you up for the rest
I really
of the
like
week.
how they really took the psychological thing of Logan, where he's really kind of down on himself, and he doesn't feel worthy of like a woman's touch or a woman's love. And I guess in this, they're actually saying that he's a virgin at this point, which seems strange if it's supposed to be after the House of M. I thought this was just super early in his existence.
I don't think they alluded to that, but he makes reference to his not his crewmates, but his fellow soldiers, talking about he's just hairy and smelly. So obviously he had low self-esteem.
Yeah.
Well, so Velvet, just to clarify, is that the present event was following House of M when he had a.
So this is him falling back into his memories.
Yes.
Now I understand better. Thank you so much for clarifying, Drew.
No problem. I was just like, wait a second. I might have not explained that well. But yeah, it was just 3 issues, and this story is considered one of the better modern Wolverine stories. And I again, Brian K. Vaughan's script was great. Eduardo Risso, who is really known more for his collaborations with Brian Azzarello. They did 100 Bullets together. They also did the Flashpoint Batman miniseries together. He did a great job with this. I got to meet him back in, I think, 2014. I had him sign the 3 issues I had for it. I told him how much I enjoyed it. He said it was such a fun project, but there's not much about it. I was trying to look up research on interviews. They don't really talk about it much, but it is considered one of the better Wolverine stories.
The villain in this is fantastic, and that it's the same guy comes back. Oh, wonderful stuff there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really want to hear what you guys thought. As a fan of history, I thought this was such a beautiful love letter to Logan, and the ending was just, oh God, what a gut punch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the whole thing is a gut punch because
the love
at the end
story.
of the second issue, man, it's just rough, and Logan is just continue to get beat up emotionally and physically.
Well, that's the thing that it's always really important to me to point out is that they've highlighted that just because Logan heals doesn't mean he doesn't also deal with the consequences of such events. Like, he'll heal, but he still has to deal with the psychological trauma of the pain and whatnot. So there, it's not just, oh, hey, okay, like I just basically regrew my body. I'm like, yeah, but you have to deal with the fact that you almost died. Like, that wrecks you.
And an original one-shot bad guy that was very compelling and he was a great character. I loved him.
Yeah. I
evil
agree.
SOB.
Scared the crap out of you. He was everything you would think from that was just scary as F.
Leo, you've been a little quiet about it. What do you think?
Well, I know Kari just unmuted herself. Let's have Kari go first, and then I'll follow.
Kari, what do you think?
I was just gonna hop in real quick with I'm with you with the history. I love history and seeing from his point of view. There's been so many times where you've seen Logan Wolverine just tortured over and over and over and over, and so he has to deal with the physical pain. And like you're saying, but when he's finally remembering everything and actually having to deal with it, you almost feel like, hey, maybe it was better that he did lose some of his memories, because I would not want to have had to live through everything that he has and then go back and sit on that day and realize what was going on. But it is that the artwork is beautiful. It's all summed up, just a nice, neat, perfect size package. It's very poignant. Didn't have to go any further. And yeah, I really did enjoy this. I thank you for picking it out. I was really, really amazed by it.
The emotional PTSD of just losing people must be unbearable on Wolverine.
Well, but that's why they've always said that immortality in itself was a sin, because you live forever, but you watch the people you love die. So that in itself is its own punishment. So Wolverine has that curse. He can't die. So, he's seen so much and witnessed so much that, like, seriously, I mean, God, he should not have any faith in humanity yet. It's the best part of his character is he keeps finding people that show him love, give him hope, and teach him friendship and crap.
Yeah, he always tries again. And that's why you have that little tiny, well, why is he doing that? Because he wants to give it just one more shot every single time.
Yeah. So, but I think it's all about portrayal. Like, it's so easy to just lean into the stereotypes of these characters. Like, Wolverine is a fuzzy, unstoppable killing machine. It's the same thing like Deadpool is just this quippy, undying character. But if you have, like, you can write them, but those stories won't be good because we've already seen that. So what more can we do? But if you have an angle, an edge, a vibe, a story to tell, you could show us something about this character we haven't seen. And those are the best stories, because it proves that there's still more stories to tell with these characters versus, okay, he's fighting Sabretooth again.
Right. But it's interesting that they always connect him with someone innocent. I remember back in the day, Kitty Pryde, and then Jubilee.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm sorry, I can't remember what the female Wolverine's name is. Laura, yeah, and he always seems to have a connection to kids, and it's always an interesting balance of his gruffness.
Well, I feel like Wolverine kind of became like the Marvel Terminator. He's unstoppable. So he's a better protector than somebody with blades on his hands who can't die. I will say the woman's death scene in this one always rocked me hard. Like, I was like, God damn, she didn't need to die.
Yeah, and she was fairly badass too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she didn't really need a protector, except for, you're against another dude that you can't really kill.
So, but like I said, overall, it's a great Wolverine story. And I just figured we needed something short that would still be well written. So, and on that note, Mr. Pond, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so we'll start with the story. The story was friggin' fantastic. Absolutely loved it. When you find out they're in Hiroshima, at the end of the first book, that's just a gut punch there. I disagree. I think it's better that she died because then she didn't have to face the horror of the bomb.
That's a good point.
The way he describes the bomb, just how he talks about feeling the water evaporate from his skin, it's just horrific the way it was described. The artwork, I was a little hit and miss with the artwork. At some points it was really good, and other points it was I thought kind of meh. But the story totally made up for it, though.
I enjoyed the artwork, actually. It was all like watercolor almost.
The covers were amazing. They were some of my favorite parts of the story.
Shink.
But yeah, so I would recommend this to any Wolverine fan. Like, you got to read this story. Yeah, and it's also the kind of story you can read in one night. Like, but
yeah, one sit down for me.
Yeah.
Which is a great thing. So should we rate this bad boy?
Yep, rate it. And, all right, kid, blow this thing and let's go home.
Leo, set it. We'll do it in order.
Punch it, Chewy. Okay. Am I going first? Is that what you said?
Yeah. We'll do it in screen order.
Screen order. Okay. I need to separate art and story. Story is certainly a 4.5. Art, I would give a 3.5.
Okay. So overall, what was it? This book is a 40?
I'd give a solid 4.
Okay. All right, Rich.
I'm gonna agree with Leo. I'm gonna also give it 4. But I really enjoyed the art and I really enjoyed the story. I thought parts of it were really beautiful and eloquent, and at the same time ravaged by pain. And so yeah, actually, I think I'm going to up it to 4.25 now that I'm describing it and going over it in my head again. I think it needs a little more bump up. So yeah, 4.25. X-Men, you guys did a great job. Wolverine, do it. Read it.
Okay.
Kari?
I go with a 4.5 on mine. There wasn't really much that was lacking. I always want more, but this was wrapped up just perfectly. I just wish that there had been more, but it didn't need it at all.
Right.
I'm going to agree with Kari. 4.5. The story is phenomenal. The artwork I thoroughly enjoyed. I love the mixing of horror with Logan's past and little supernatural-esque kind of villain who we didn't really need to know, but we can like, no, you're evil. You're bad guy. Loved it. So 4.5. I would recommend this to any Wolverine fan. Like, you want a really good story? Let this shit rock your world. And Jar Jar.
All right, I'm gonna go with Rich and say 4.25. I'd almost drop a 5 on it, except for it was kind of short. It was a little bit shorter, and I wanted a little bit more. I don't know what more I would have added because it was a great all-around story, but it left me wanting more at the end. That's my only one complaint was I didn't feel completed.
All right.
And that's my story.
And a second to it?
No. I'll change it if you'd like.
And I just wanted to add like the artwork, in certain spots I thought was really good. It's just certain parts definitely turned me off. So it needed more consistency in my view.
Right. But Leo, you're usually pretty negative on the Marvel storylines, and you seem to enjoy this one.
Yeah, and like Wolverine was one of the Marvel books that I actually picked up. So I enjoy a good Wolverine story. I haven't read too much, but yeah, Wolverine's a good character.
All right. Well, snick, snick.
You want to sign us off as you normally do when we end the show?
Yeah, I want to thank everybody for watching this fine evening. You know me, just Google me. You'll find a bunch of stuff. Could be true, could be not. I'm not going to say which is which, but one thing you can do is you can find me and the rest of these awesome people at Terrificon in just a couple weeks. So, you're going to be able to find us right at the entrance, the main hallway. You just go down a little bit. We should be right there. But head on over to our Splash Pages website, splashpagescomicbookclub.com. And, you can find out some more information there, and we'll kick it over to Kari.
Hey, everybody. When I'm not here, I'm over on the All Out Network, but I'm so excited. I finally get to meet all of these wonderful gents when we go to Terrificon. And I'll be hanging out at the booth, and I'll give you some candy. I'll give you a card. I'll give you a Crystal Light drink packet and a bottle of water if you come and show up. If you want to get a hold of me, look me up on Facebook at Kari Sanders. If you see a crow, that's me. That's all I got tonight.
Sounds good. Velvet.
It's your man, Velvet J, and we just wrapped up another episode of the award-winning Splash Pages, a comic book club podcast. Check us all out. You know we're going to be here Tuesday nights, 8 o'clock. That's where we be. Have a good night.
Jar Jar.
Hey, everybody, check out Still Token tomorrow night at 7, because I'm going to be on there again. And this week we're talking to Lee Purcell. You might recognize her from a million different movies. One of them is not off the top of my head right now. So do that, and check out Comic Book Lovers Buy, Sell, Trade, and Auction House over on the Facebook. Buy, Sell, Trade with 20,000 other nerds and geeks. And Terrificon. Go to Terrificon. We're going to be at Terrificon. I don't know if you guys have heard of Terrificon, but that's what we're going to be doing from July 28th to the 30th. So do that.
Mr. Drew. Ghostbuster Man 1984.
No, don't do that. Hi, everybody. I'm Drew. When I'm not here with the award-winning Splash Pages, and we should get more awards, so sign us up for them. You can find me on Facebook. I'm very excited to be returning to Terrificon, where there'll be so many hijinks. So many, it could even end up being shenanigan-worthy. So, shenanigans, indeed. But
Isn't that a restaurant?
Yeah, no. So, a lot could happen there. We'll have a ton of stories, a ton of interviews, a lot of fun. And I don't know, maybe we'll do a contest. First person to get a photo with everybody at Splash Pages, you win nothing. So,
we got a whole big pile of nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna, supplies limited, but there will be candy and there'll be water and packets. Again, supplies limited, so come find us fast. Yeah. And Steve, what do you mean you won't be at Terrificon? Get your butt over to Terrificon. You're not that far.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for joining us, everyone. There was a lot of news today. Thank you for staying through all of it. It was a great book, great people, but now the night is over, so it's time to sleep.
We'll catch you guys later. Bye.